Alrighty, Teddy. Ha ha ha. Joke's on me because I never do what I say I'm gonna do. Anyways, give me a little credit where it's due. Video. Hey. Anyways, let's just jump into it. Mainly, all y'all want to know about is my relationship, that and that. And I'm kind of tired of talking about it, but I realized I never talked about it, like in full details. So, lucky yes, we're probably gonna have part one, part two, part three, and part four. Ha ha. I'm gonna drag it. Say no. I don't know if y'all want to know about because I really didn't end. Like, I pretty much never told y'all about the ex that I had before that I was on TikTok with. Y'all remember, Chase. And me and Chase, and I never let y'all know about why we broke up. So I guess I'll start there, because a lot of people still got questions about that ex. So, if you were around for when I had locks, congratulations. You the MVP. Yeah, and then if you were around for when I had locks, then you know that I was in a relationship with Chase. Um, we was I don't really know what to say we was. I'm gonna take a shot because I'm nervous. Um, anyways, so man, the relationship that I had when I was in Vegas, that's the one that y'all know about mainly because the new girl that I just was fucking with, um, Nikki. We'll get into her in a second if we have time. We'll get into her. But anyway, so let me talk about Chase. So me and Chase, I met Chase. She found me on Facebook Live. Actually, that's how she found me. Cheers. Drink responsibly. Anyway, so I met Chase. I was on Facebook Live. I think I was making sandwiches for the homeless, and I was freestyling. So I was live for pretty much like a couple hours. And I remember seeing her in my live. She stood out because she was like, "Let me fly you out." She was giving me like really, really boss bitch energy in my live. So, and I liked that there was like a bunch of people kind of like coming at her, and she just wasn't paying it no mind. She was mainly focused on just like me, like fuck these peasants. She was just focused on me, and I like that. Anyways, after I got off a live, she wound up sending me a little message. Like that's kind of typically how the situation with Nikki started too. Except I was on TikTok live when I popped up on Nikki's For You page. And then Nikki went to my Instagram and sent me a message in my DM. So they both found me on live. They both went to my DMs and they both sent me a message. And I was smitten for their four bucks. Like, nah, I wasn't smitten at first. First, with the whole situation with Chase, I was still fucking on my ex at the time. So it was like I liked the energy that she gave me, but I was still stuck on my ex. Like I wasn't in a relationship with Shorty, but and we'll say that if you were around from that ex, then you know the Gemini ex I'm talking about. But I was still kind of stuck on her to the point we were still fucking. I was still like taking care of her in little ways. Like she would come to my crib, I'd wash her clothes, feed her, and shit like that. So she was still like very much immediately in my face. Versus like Chase was pretty much long distance. She was in Vegas at the time, and I don't do long distance. Y'all know that. And same with Nikki. Like when Nikki met me, I was in Chicago at the time, and she was in Atlanta. So there's so many similarities now that I'm thinking about it. Anyways, they both wind up okay. So Chase, she had probation in Atlanta, so she had to go to Atlanta anyway to handle some shit. Now I was living in North Carolina at that time. I was in Raleigh, and she pretty much bought me a ticket to fly me from North Carolina to Atlanta so that I could meet her in Atlanta because she drove down to Atlanta or some shit. I mean, she didn't drive down. She flew down. She flew to Atlanta. So she flew to Atlanta, and she was, yeah, she went to Atlanta to handle some probation stuff. So she flew me to Atlanta so that we could meet. Cause we had been on FaceTime. She had been popping her pussy on my phone, like. So it was like all this energy was being given. So it was like, all right, it makes sense that we finally meet. So finally, all right, she gets me a ticket. She's in Atlanta. She's so she's in Atlanta and she's booked like this Airbnb and a bunch of stuff so that we can have like this nice time together. But my retarded ass misses my flight. Like I miss my flight. So long story short, I know she's gonna be bad, so I'm like, fuck it, let me just drive down there to show her that like fuck, I'm not trying to play you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to play you. And so I drove down there. Me and her, of course, fucked on the first night. Same with Nikki. Um, and the thing about Nikki is, like, how the similarities is, I was in Chicago at the time. Nikki was doing the same shit, sleeping on my phone, popping pussy on my phone, I mean, the whole 9 yards. I mean, you know, it was basically like, you get what you can. Like, you ain't gonna be able to fuck in person, so y'all kind of fucking on the phone type shit. So, and then she drove from Atlanta to Chicago to come see me, which was like over 10 hours. So, yeah, similarities there. I go to Atlanta. I'm chilling with Chase and shit. We want to fucking. We spent a couple days together, and it's like to the point where I gotta leave. So I'm about to leave, and I just ask her like real quick, "Hey, you wanna come back with me?" So she's like, "Yeah, I wanna come back with you." So she basically drives back with me all the way back to North Carolina. So that's the beginning of how me and Chase started fucking with each other, basically, mainly. I had got locked up, and Chase went to war to get me out. Pretty much, like, y'all remember how I was telling you I was kind of still stuck on the Gemini bitch, and I was still taking care of her, and I was still, like, washing her clothes and cooking her food and shit like that. Well, I wasn't washing her clothes, but I would let her come to my house to wash her clothes. And I would let her come to my house to eat, because she would be hungry and shit like that. And sometimes I'd make food, so she'd eat the food I make. It wasn't like I was, like, cooking for her, like, you know, and washing her clothes and folding them. It wasn't that type of party, but we were still fucking whenever she would come over to do shit like that. And I was, like, talking to Chase at the time. Like, but I couldn't really take her serious because, like, there was some other factors pertaining to Chase that was, like, preventing me from taking her serious. You know, some little things, like, I didn't really know her, and some of the things that she was telling me, it was, like, I needed to give myself a chance to, like, see how it plays out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to put none of her business out there like that, but there was, like, some stuff that was just not really adding up, and I didn't know how I felt about it because I still was kind of stuck on my ex. I was just letting it play out, you know what I mean? So she kind of had to grow on me. But I had got locked up. When I got locked up, I hit up the Gemini bitch like, "Yo, what's up? I got the money, I got the bread. I just need you to sign me out." Basically, she shitted on me and was like, "Fuck you, nigga. Like, get your girl to do it." Because she had found out about Chase. So, lo and behold, I sat in jail for almost like 2 weeks, which was nothing because I've done more time than that. But it was just the facts like, "Ew, bitch, you're crunchy." I got the bread to get out. I had to give a crackhead $20 to sign for me. Somebody's like brother that was locked up, their crackhead brother, I had to get him some bread to meet my bondsman at a gas station, and then I had Chase cash app the money so that I could get signed out. And she was all the way in Vegas when she did all of this, so she had to fly back home to handle some shit. So she flew back home while I was still locked up, but it was cool because she needed to make moves. She needed to make moves to get me out. That's why she had to go back to Vegas. So I wasn't stressing it like, "Oh, you left me," and none of that shit. Like, it had to happen. Anyways, I was in there for probably 2 weeks. Chase got me out, bonded me out. And then I was stranded like super far away because I was off of Hammond Road. And I was living in like west side of Raleigh at the time, on the west side. So she had got me an Uber and Ubered me to my crib. I was at my crib probably for like maybe less than a week I was there. And then she flew me to Vegas. And then I was out in Vegas with Chase, and we was on. That's when we started doing a TikTok and making our like little relationship and like all that extra shit. So there's definitely similarities with like my dynamic with Chase and how that started versus my dynamic with Nikki and how it started too. It's like really, really similar in the way that it happened. And I gotta stop moving for bitches, like for real. Cause what the fuck? Just like when I went to Vegas and I moved out and I flew out to Vegas, I was with Chase and we had a crib. But I didn't have no resources because I was all the way in Vegas on the west side. I knew absolutely nobody. I had no family out there. So every single time we fought, and every single time she would like kick me out or be like, or throw my stuff out, I like didn't have nowhere to go, and I didn't have nobody that like I could rely on. So I had to rely on the bitches that wanted to fuck me, that was like on Tinder and like, cause I still do tattoos, and this was when the pandemic really hit, so everything was shut the fuck down. So I was on Tinder advertising my tattoos, not trying to get no pussy, but I was advertising my tattoos. So I had like bitches hitting me up, cause I look good, but I also had them hitting me up because they wanted tattoos. So I wound up linking up with this girl. I didn't link up on a back note. I told her to come to the crib so that she could meet me and Chase, because, you know, I was trying to be respectful. Chase met her. We all linked. We all drank. We sipped. We talked about get her tattoos. She paid a little bread for her deposit. And that was that. But she wound up being one of the, like, main girls that kept super saving me. Every time me and Chase would get to arguing, she would kick me out, throw my shit in trash bags. I had nowhere to go, so I had to call Shorty to come pick me up. Like, man, this is bullshit. She grabbed all my stuff, like, you don't deserve this. Taking me, you know what I'm saying? Because either way, like, she is kind of right. Like, regardless of what we fight about, I would never kick nobody out of my crib. Our crib. Your crib. Like, whatever you want to say it, I would never, like, kick nobody out. And if it's my crib initially and I bring you into my home, it's your home. It ain't just mine when we're in feelings. It ain't just, oh, this is my shit because you're mad. No. If you let me into your house, it's our house now. Like, it's our dynamic. I'm going to be respectful because at the end of the day, I still am in your space. But don't tell me that this is my home and to make myself at home. And then whenever we get into it, now it's not my home. Like, that don't make sense. That don't add up. And she would do shit like that all the fucking time. And bitches would come, save the day, and I would be good and gone. Like, fuck it. Like, just like I would have been if I was in my motherfucking city and I could just go to my crib, or I could just go to my sisters, or I could just go to my aunties, or I could just go to my cousins. I don't have that. So I have to make a way. Or you want me on the streets of Vegas during a pandemic? Bitch, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for sleeping peacefully at night when you wanted me to sleep up in the gutters. Come on now. Like, if you don't care about my well-being, but you're going to be mad at the next bitch for caring about my well-being, that don't make no sense. Anyways, so me and Chase had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of issues. And I was on bars really bad, too. And that was a big factor in why our relationship sucked also. Is because I was, like, battling with all my different personalities. And I was, like, disassociating and didn't remember some of the things I did. And didn't remember some of the stuff I said. And like, she was feeling, I guess on her end, she felt like she just did so much for me. And she did, like, fly me out there, bringing me into her space. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was some things that she did. So she has a valid reason to feel like I violated. But it was just like we both were just so toxic and so self-centered into our own pain that we couldn't really see each other for the way we were affecting each other. And whenever me and her, like, our relationship was really, really bad for a long time, and we kept trying to make it work, and I kept trying to make it look good to the public because I didn't feel like dragging y'all up and down this, like, suck fest of a roller coaster of, okay, now we're happy, now we're sad, now we're together, now we're not. Like, I just wanted it to look good at all times because I knew that y'all were pulling inspiration from us. I didn't want to take you on this random ass journey of, like, damn, the toxicity. And I didn't want her to look like a bad person. I didn't want, and she would have looked like shit, to be honest, based off of the way she was moving. Because some of the things I did, regardless, it still didn't, like, warrant some of the shit she did. Like, calling the police, fucking with my freedom, lots of things like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, come on. So I decided to, like, stay super, super, super silent. Which is why with the whole Nikki situation, I did the exact opposite. I was more verbal. I was letting people know, like, okay, this isn't the case. Don't expect to see her. Don't expect to see us together. We're not, this ain't that. Because, believe it or not, me trying so hard to protect, like, my fans and protect the image of her fucked with me. Because I still had to answer to the situation. When I decided to finally come out, when I decided to finally have another relationship, I still had to answer to it. Motherfuckers still have questions. So that's another reason I'm finally addressing it. It's going to be the part one. It's going to be like part one with a combo pack of, like, Chase and Nikki. Because I feel like I can't really talk about one without talking about the other, because the irony and the fact that they both the situations are what they are. I feel like it works so well. Like, it just meshes so well. Like, there's no way that I can't, like, not talk about them both. And a lot of people still have questions about Chase, like, really being honest. Because a lot of people did fuck with her heavy. Because she, like, people be good people. It's just, like, toxicity doesn't mesh well. It really doesn't. And, like, Chase had just recently hit me up during the situation where me and Nikki, like, ain't working out and we, like, taking our L's. She hit me up on some, like, random shit. So it's not like neither one of them aren't good people. They're very good people. I'm not gonna be with somebody that's not a good person. They just didn't treat me well, and in their defense, they can say that I didn't treat them well. So yeah. Anyways, this is gonna be part 1. I ain't gonna drag it. We'll get into all the logistics of part 2. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my backup channel. I got a video on my backup channel of, I think it's a mukbang of me and Nikki eating. I can leave it up or I can take it down. I really don't. It's up to y'all. But I feel like I'll probably put part 2 of the me and Nikki situation on that one, because it was supposed to be a page for both of us anyway, so why not? And then y'all can go see the part 2s on why everything didn't work out. Stacks. Also, go. Y'all hear it. I never loved you hoes. SoundCloud. I'll drop it in the link in the description. Fire as fuck too. I was gonna wait till we reach a certain number, but I just talked to my manager and she's gonna drop the song, the second song that y'all, the slower version of the song. Not this version, but the slower song. She's gonna drop that one too. Probably let me not lie. Wait on it.